Shayura's Wrath has made its long-awaited return to Destiny 2. And I mean, we haven't seen this thing in the active Trials rotation since Season of the Risen. Fellas, that was Season 16. And if seasons were still around, we'd be in Season 24 right now. Now, for those who are unaware, Shayura's Wrath is a void, precision frame SMG, and it is one of the greatest submachine guns in Destiny history, at least for PvP. Everything Immortal did, Shayura did first, which is why I'm so excited to see this weapon back in rotation. Now, before getting into its new random rolls and its origin traits, let's talk about its stats. At base, Shayura has 59 range, 44 stability, 27 handling, 23 reload speed, 60 aim assist, 15 zoom, and 25 airborne effectiveness. Now, I feel like usually when we do these stat comparisons, there's a few weapons that have higher stats in a couple of categories, even if they are just minor differences. But looking here across the board, there is not a single precision SMG in this list that has better stats than Shayura. The closest you're gonna get is probably Adjudicator or Unending Tempest, but they're both in the kinetic slot. So believe me when I say, even at base, Shayura is juiced. Now let's take a look at our perks. In column 3, we have Repulsor Brace, Dynamic Sway Reduction, Killing Wind, Keep Away, Zen Moment, Strategist, and Discord. In our 4th column, we have Tap the Trigger, Kill Clip, Destabilizing Rounds, Cascade Point, Harmony, Target Lock, and High Impact Reserves. Now keep in mind, guys, every one of these perks can be enhanced. Bungie has added enhancing to literally almost everything. And right here with your Shayura, even your God Roll Adept, you can enhance these perks. Now we're gonna start talking about PvP here though, since this drops from the Trials playlist. In column 3, we have a lot of good stuff though. First up, we have Keep Away. This increases reload, range, and accuracy when no targets are in close proximity. And this is a bump in range of +10, +30 reload speed, and -5% accuracy cone growth when no enemies are within 15 meters. This is basically free extra range, free reload speed, and free accuracy. Now in terms of range, we tested this with a 59 range roll Shayura, which experienced damage fall off at 21 meters. Then with Keep Away, this would bump us up to 22 meters. So roughly gives you an extra meter in game. Now I know this may not seem a lot, but for an SMG, an extra meter really does make a big difference. Now for the enhanced version of Keep Away, this gives us +35 reload and -7.5% accuracy cone growth. Pretty nice bumps. Now the issue I have with this is that this is such an easy SMG to hit max range. For instance, my Hammerforged Light Mag Ranged Masterwork Adept Range Mod roll is sitting at 94 range. This puts me just under 23 meters. Granted, Keep Away would kick us up to 100 range, which is 23.52 meters. The problem is you're of course running into that ceiling of your range, which means you may want to slot out a barrel perk, and instead of doing Hammerforge, I would instead opt for Corkscrew Rifling or some other perk. Being such a stat monster does allow you the flexibility of choosing what works best for your current role, and that is a good thing. But is Keep Away the best perk for that? This takes us to Dynamic Sway Reduction. This is what I got on my Adept roll, and it reads that it improves accuracy and stability while continuously holding down the trigger. Now each shot while holding down the trigger is going to grant +1 stability, also -5% accuracy cone size, and -10% accuracy cone growth, and it reaches a maximum strength of all these benefits of +10 stability and -50% accuracy cone size and -100% accuracy cone growth in just 10 shots. This is a very solid perk. Precision frame SMGs already feel very stable as is. It's literally what they possess naturally, especially in their recoil patterns. But Dynamic Sway takes that to the next level. An enhanced Dynamic Sway takes all those things even further. Instead of it taking 10 shots to reach maximum benefits, you're reaching it in 8 shots, as you're getting more benefits per shot. 1.25 stability per shot, -6.25% accuracy cone size, and -12.5% accuracy cone growth. What this really means, fellas, is that Dynamic Sway says, hey, just lay on the trigger, we'll aim for you. Now, normally I would say Dynamic Sway is hands down the king, but man, we've got another. Zen Moment. Used to be a perk that was worthless on mouse and keyboard because it literally did nothing. Now though, Zen Moment has become one of the best perks for mouse and keyboard and for controller. It reads that causing damage with this weapon reduces recoil and flinch over time. Now each shot is going to give you increased flinch resistance. It also reduces visual weapon shake by 15% and reduces reticle bounce by 15%, which means on an SMG, you're going to be reaching those maximum benefits after just 5 shots. Fellas, I wish I had a roll with this. I'm still trying to collect more, but it genuinely helps helps all weapons, and it turns weapons into laser beams. And I would assume it would do the exact same thing with Shayura. For the enhanced version of this perk, it doesn't really net you any extra benefits outside of giving you a flat +5 stability, which is still a nice bump. Now, there are of course other perks in this third column. You've got Killing Wind, which is nice for that increase in mobility, weapon range, and handling upon landing a final blow. It's got some great stat bumps for sure, but it requires a kill, which is why most people are probably going to be looking at these other perks, as these are perks that can help you mid-gunfights. Now, this takes us to the fourth column. What is the best damage perks to be looking at? First up, we've got Target Lock. Damage increases the longer this weapon remains on a target. Now, if you haven't played in a while, you may remember Target Lock being absolutely broken last year on the Immortal. Thankfully though, Target Lock has been touched a few times, and it's still decent on many weapons, but not nearly as strong as it was before, at least for SMGs. The most recent change happened during update 7.3.5 back in March, which read that Target Lock now activates later in the magazine for submachine guns. So essentially at 20% of your mag versus 12.5%. Now, this was specifically an SMG only change. Other weapon types still activate after 12.5% of the mag. That means on Shayura here, Target Lock won't proc until your 7th shot is fired. Now, in base, the damage you're getting in PvP initially is around 10.46% increase in damage, but the enhanced version does kick this up to 12.54%. And in terms of time to kill, again, base precisions sit at 0.8 seconds. Killing Guardians tier 10 to tier 6 in 8 crits, 1 body. And then from tier 5 and below, you can achieve that same time to kill in 7 crits, 2 body. Now, with the enhanced version of Target Lock, because I had already enhanced my weapon at tier 10 to tier 8, this helps our forgiveness by requiring 7 crits and 2 body, but again, no shift in time to kill. Still nice on the forgiveness front. Now, we did find in our testing though, on Guardians 7 resilience and below, we were able to shift the TTK, as you're able to achieve the kill in 8 crits, 0.7 seconds. Now, I do want to mention that this perk is not nearly as potent as it was before, most notably during the Immortal meta, but it does still work, and the enhanced version of this gives it that extra push. With that being said though, you also have damage perks like Kill Clip, where reloading after a kill grants us a 25% increase in damage, which lasts for 5 seconds. The enhanced version of this lasts for 5.5 seconds. This allows us to get the kill in 0.6 seconds in 7 crits on Guardians tier 10 resilience, tier 6, and then on Guardians tier 5 and below, you're able to get the same time to kill, but in 6 crits, 1 body. Now, the beautiful thing about the Adept rolls is that you can get double perks. And luckily for me, on my Adept roll, I was able to land both the Kill Clip roll and the Target Lock roll, allowing me to change up to either one. Now, other perks to consider. For years, I used to use a Harmony roll. This gives us a 20% increase in damage and also plus 15 handling when getting a kill with another weapon. For a long time, I used to use Forerunner and a Harmony roll on Shayura. I would get a kill with Forerunner, and then I would immediately push with my 20% buffed Shayura's Wrath, which did very well for me. Another roll to consider is Cascade Points. Now, this will net you the fastest time to kill here. Essentially, after scoring a kill or multiple precision hits with another weapon, when you swap over to Shayura, this substantially increases the rate of fire here. We're talking a 0.56 second time to kill value. It cooks, fellas. You do have to proc it though, of course, but you'd be surprised how well you can work this into your normal gameplay loop. Now, another perk to look into, which isn't a damage perk, but still a very good one, is of course Tap the Trigger. This grants a short period of increased stability and accuracy on the initial trigger pull. Now, this is a lot, guys. We're talking 40 stability, minus 50 recoil, and minus 10% accuracy cone size for 0.6 seconds. And the enhanced version of this lets this last for 0.76 seconds, which is pretty much the whole duration of a gunfight with this weapon. Considering time to kill value is 0.8 seconds, hell fellas, by the time this perk drops off, you've probably killed the guy. Look, do not overlook Tap the Trigger. It is a very consistent perk, and maybe that's all you want on Shayura. Maybe you're looking for an SMG that just feels better than literally any other SMG in the game, and a Tap the Trigger roll can definitely grant you that. Now, before getting into my God roll recommendations for this one, I do need to touch on the origin traits, because that's going to be the deciding factor of why you need to leave behind your old Shayura. And that's because it can now roll with Nadir Focus. This is the new origin trait, which reads, Sustained Fire increases accuracy and range. Now, this stacks up to 5 times. The max stacks is going to give you plus 10 range and 7.5% decrease accuracy cone size. This is a very good origin trait, and at maximum benefits, this roughly adds an extra meter of range. Another interesting thing we found during our testing is that Nadir Focus will activate just from sustained fire, even if you're not actually hitting a target. So guys, literally just lay on the trigger. It procs. The longer you shoot, the better. I'm not saying you should pre-fire around every single corner, but you could here. Now I know Alacrity also exists on this weapon, where you gain increased reload stability and aim assist and range when you're the last living member of your fire team, or if you're running solo. And these are really nice benefits. We're talking plus 20 range, plus 20 stability, plus 50 reload speed, and 10 aim assist. But keep in mind, this perk does not work in Rumble anymore. Used to be the go-to perk, especially for my folks that lived in the Rumble playlists. One quiet moment also exists here, but I wouldn't go that route. Nadir Focus all day long. For me, guys, there are a number of different roles you can utilize inside of PvP. I feel like what I currently have is already a god role, but I would love a Zen Moment tap the trigger role. Really just to go in and fully commit to the most stable, best feeling SMG you could possibly get. And I think those two perks together would grant me that. And this is coming from someone that loves dynamic sway. Really, I just want both because I think both are phenomenal. And this applies to controller players and mouse and keyboard players. As far as the best damage perk, I don't really know if target lock is what I want anymore. I have it present here. Yes, it does activate, and it does offer a little bit of forgiveness. But dude, the fact that enhanced tap the trigger can last the entire gunfight, I like the idea of that, man. At the same time, you've got kill clip, which I know is pretty basic, and then Cascade Point, which seems pretty unique. It has the fastest time to kill. It is something that can cook, and it doesn't require a kill to activate. You could be utilizing it with another weapon, and mid-trading back and forth, especially if you're running double primaries, and you see Cascade Point proc, boom, swap to Shayura and start blasting. Overall, guys, this weapon is a stat monster. You really can't go wrong with anything. It's got 95 recoil direction. The weapon's very vertical, and it's already got an archetype being a precision frame that makes it even more vertical. So as far as the barrel perks you should choose, I would say just do whatever you can to get that range up even more, and you'll be surprised how close you can get to max range. Now, before ending this video, I do want to quickly touch on PvE. As I mentioned earlier, there really isn't a whole lot going for PvE. This is also a precision frame SMG, which, as we've noted the other day when talking about perfect pitch, lightweights actually have better DPS. With that being said, you can most definitely get a repulsor brace roll and a destabilizing round roll together on Shayura. One will be granting you an overshield when defeating void debuff targets. The other one will cause targets to become volatile when landing final blows with his SMG. These two perks work beautifully together, and you could definitely go that route. Would I recommend using Shayura in PvE? Probably not, guys. Especially considering there are other SMGs that are void that have better DPS, and if you're looking for that particular role, you can get it. Recluse has it. Now, I do like the idea of taking a Discord Cascade role inside of PvE and just blowing my load. I mean, it does sound kind of appealing. Discord stays at final blows with another weapon. Grant this weapon increased speed for aiming down sights, accuracy, and airborne effectiveness for a short time. The main component is that final blows refund ammo. You can go that route. You can literally do Cascade Point, which allows you to substantially increase that rate of fire, and then Discord, which steadily supplies you with ammunition. Kind of a meme role, but something that I would consider. Overall, though, I think Shayura is more of a PvP weapon, and it is a very solid choice, guys. I know SMGs may not be your cup of tea right now, especially considering how strong weapons like Kvastov currently is. But this has always been an old reliable, and now it is returned, and somehow even surpassed its former self. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.